Hi, everybody. My name is Professor Jim Zabricki. Welcome to Chem 122 General Chemistry 2. This is for summer 2020. So I'm really excited that you're here with us, and we're gonna have. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be fun. All right. So I do have a syllabus that's inside your Blackboard course. I urge you, please take a look at the syllabus because that's going to explain all the course requirements and detail how we're going to calculate your grade, all that stuff. So again, I urge you, please read that syllabus. So this video is basically welcoming you to the course. I'm going to expand a little bit upon what's in the syllabus, talk about expectations, and hopefully level set. So that way you guys are walking into this course, you know what you're getting into, and you're ready to go. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's talk about your course prereqs. So everyone in this course should have had Gen Chem 1, whether that was Chem 121 at Owens, or it was Chem 1230 back at UT, or Chem 125 or 1250 in PG. Wherever you've gone from, it could have been Ohio State, IU, whatever school you're at, you should have had Gen Chem 1. Now, that being said, every Gen Chem program at every college is completely different. So, that being said, what I am assuming you know before coming into this course, you should know stoichiometry. Like if I gave you a limiting reagent problem, you should be able to solve one of those. I'm also assuming that you're familiar with aqueous reactions. So when you make a solution, you know the word solute, solvent. Okay. We back in Gen Chem 1, we also talked about precipitation reactions using solubility rules, acid-base reactions, and redox reactions. Okay. Now, what's really cool is that those last three things, redox, acid-base, and precipitation reactions, and the solubility stuff, that's actually stuff we're going to talk about either starting this week or in the last third of the course. Okay, so not only that, I'm also assuming that you've had experience with gas laws. I'm also assuming that you've had some experience with quantum chemistry, talking about, the Bohr theory, electronic configuration, periodicity, periodic trends on the periodic table. You've talked about Lewis structures. You know the difference between an ionic and a covalent bond. You also have drawn Lewis structures. You've heard of Vesper theory, and you could find the 3D shape of a molecule if you had to. Okay, and then finally, you should have heard or seen some exposure to either valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory. You may not be great on it, and that's okay, but if you've been exposed to it, that's perfect. That's fine. The last thing is having some sort of exposure to thermochemistry. You may have heard of enthalpy, delta H. You may have had some exposure. You may have done stuff using calorimetry and solving for heats of reactions. You may have been exposed to some other terms like delta S and delta G, depending on the program. But as long as you've been exposed to basic thermo, you're good. Now, the good news with all that stuff that I just laid out on the table, this week, your very first week, that's what we're doing. We're going to kind of review a little bit. So a lot about the solutions and solubility. We'll be reviewing that later on this week. Thermo will be a little bit more on Wednesday. So if you're feeling, it's been a while since you've seen that, not a problem. We're gonna play catch up. Okay. That being said, if you had not a good experience in Gen Chem 1 and you didn't do so hot in Gen Chem 1, you may be finding yourself struggling a little bit with this course. So, keep in mind, you can still be successful if you did not have a good time in Gen Chem 1, but keep in mind that you may have to spend a little bit more time studying and catching up to the rest of us. And that's okay. That's okay. But I just want you to know that, with the summer and how everything's going to flow, this summer, it may be a little rough for you at the beginning. The other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of prereq is that this course does have a math prereq as well. So in Gen Chem 1, and let me explain the rationale of this first. So in Gen Chem 1, we did the stoichiometry problems. We did Bohr theory, using the Rydberg equation. We did these thermochemistry calculations, and that's all well and good. But what happens this time around in this course is that we're going to be using the math to tell the story. So what we want to look at this time around is that, when we do a calculation or we get a number, we have to interpret that number because that's telling us what's going on chemically. And so that's really important to us. So that being said, there is a math prereq of having either college algebra or being in college algebra right now, or being in pre-calculus, or you've had exposure to Calc 1. So the math is going to be really important because the math is going to tell a story, and that's really important to us. So if you find that your math skills are not up to snuff, you may be struggling a little bit on that too. Now, I will be reviewing every time we get into some big math, thing that we got to take a look at. I'll have a review assignment for you so you can practice that stuff, just so you remember how to do that stuff. The math stuff that we're looking at right now, it's going to be kind of basic, like, can you take a look at a graph? Can you get the slope of a line? Do you know the y, how to find the y-intercept? If I gave you coordinates, can you find a point on a graph? As we keep going on, in the second week, we're going to start adding logarithms to the mix. So that's going to make things a little bit more complicated. And then once we get into the second part of the course, we're going to be dealing a lot with logarithms, but really a lot with the quadratic formula. So I'm going to assume that you have had some math background in this course, which is going to make things a little bit different this time around. Let's talk about your textbook. So for this course, I am not requiring you to purchase a textbook. And I want to be very clear. So I'm going to give you access to a textbook, to an e-textbook. And the textbook looks like this. If you have the hard copy version, it's this. Interactive General Chemistry, first edition. This is published by Macmillan Learning. So what I'm going to do is give you access to this e-book completely free. Okay. Also, on top of that, I'm going to give you access to an online homework program called Achieve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to take you inside Achieve real quick. Now, in the syllabus, again, take a look at that syllabus because that's going to have your directions on how to log into Achieve and what the access codes are. But when you log into Achieve, this is where your homework assignments are going to be sitting. So right now, the screen that we're looking at, these are the assignments that are due in the next 7 days. Okay, I'm actually building out your course today as we're going. So this may look a little bit more different, or you may have more assignments built in that when you log into your course. I do want to show you two things in this Achieve course. Your course plan is going to be basically broken out by units, or what you're going to cover for each exam. So the way this works is that we have this folder right now that says Materials for Exam 1. If I open this up, it's going to be broken out by weeks. Okay. And if I go inside each week, I'm going to break this out by session. And then if you go inside each session folder, you're going to have the textbook readings for your assignment, the textbook readings for that session. But more importantly, that's where your homework assignments lie. Okay. So that's really important. The other thing is, if you do want to access the ebook, I have the readings broken out for you for certain days within that ebook. Okay. Also, on the left-hand side of the screen where my mouse is, I'm going to have a link here to the ebook. If you click on this, that's going to take you directly to the entire ebook. You find the chapter that you're looking at. For us, we're starting right with chapter 12. Click on that, and that should also break it up. That should also bring it up on the screen. Now, one other really cool thing, let's say you don't, is there a way to download this textbook? Absolutely. So once you're inside your account and you're registered for Achieve and you're starting to do the homework, in the upper right hand corner, okay, where your name is, this is going to be a drop down menu. You're going to click on this link that says download ebook app from App Store. You're going to make a new app. You're going to download an app that's called Macmillan Learning or Vital Source, and that's where your ebook's going to lie. You should have access to that ebook for 4 years. So what is going to be your day-to-day flow for this course? What are you going to be expected to do each day? What do you have to log on every day? What's going on? All right, so let me explain a little bit more about what I'm expecting from you. So ideally, if it was a normal summer course, you would be in lecture. We would see each other face to face for 9 hours a week. So 9 hours times 6 weeks is 54 hours. Okay. So for this web course, I have to assume that 9 hours is going to be set aside for just lecture. So the way this works is that you're going to go inside your Owens Blackboard account and you're going to have a list of things that you got to do that day. Let me show you. Okay, so I'm inside your Blackboard course, and this is where you found this video. Over here on the left, you're going to click on the link that says coursework. And what that does is it's going to bring up everything that you're going to have available to you. So here is your folder for week 1. Okay. So if I go inside this folder, it's going to be broken up. What I've done is broken up those 9 hours into 3 sessions. And what I did was space them out to be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay. So if I go inside the first folder for week 1, for session 1, now everything is going to be broken up by what do you have to do for this day. So it seems, if you look at this list, this is an awful long list, but it's actually not that bad. So for day 1, I'm asking you to read the Start Here letter and the course syllabus and also see this video. I'm having you complete an academic honesty policy, and then we get into the heart of the material. So the way this is going to work on a normal day is that you're going to watch these videos of me lecturing that I've been making since the end of April. Okay. So what you're going to do is pull up these videos. Now these videos are based on my lecture notes. Okay. So if you take a look at this link right here that says step 3, print out your lecture outlines. If you click on this, this is a PDF of all of my lecture outlines. And the way this works is that when you're looking at this file, you're going to have blanks here. Okay. This is an area for you to fill out those notes. So what I'm going to do is that when you're watching these videos, I'm actually going to go through and I'm actually going to write things out and explain things. And so this is going to be what you would be watching. This would be what you would be doing in a normal lecture course. Okay. Now the goal here, the whole point of doing this is that once you're all done with this part, you will have a complete set of notes. That's going to be like your very own textbook. So you're ready to go. You got a set of notes. You're in good shape going forward to do the homework assignments and all that good stuff. Now, why am I making you print this out? There's actually some rationale behind this. Now, the reason why I want you to print this out is that the more times you see this material, that means the more times you're processing it, the easier it is to know and remember this stuff. So think of it this way. If you hear me lecture, okay, if you're watching this video, you're processing it with your eyes, okay? You're also processing it with your ears because you're hearing me say it, okay? So the more times you process it, the more it's going to be easier to remember. So on top of that, if you write it down, if you write out the notes along with me, not only are you listening to me say it, you're seeing me do it, but then you're going over to your sheet and you're writing it down, and then you're looking at that and you're processing it again. That's 4 or 5 more times that you're processing this material than just watching the YouTube video as is. And the more times you process it, the easier it is to remember it. So I know we're not going to have like a normal lecture period, but this is the best that we can do in an online lecture format. Okay. Now, a couple of you guys have emailed me during the summer and said, "Hey, Professor Z, like I got a job. I got this internship. What, am I supposed to log in every day?" Yeah, you're going to have to. Now, what time do you log in? That's completely up to you. So I'm assuming that you're going to go into Blackboard at least on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays and complete these activities. So what's kind of nice, so what I'm assuming is that when you go in and watch this video, let's say you watch Liquids and Solids #1 Intermolecular Forces, you're filling out that part of your notes, that part of your lecture notes. And then what I'd like you to do is to go into Achieve and complete this problem set, Assignment 2 Intermolecular Forces. So if I go over to Achieve and take a look at the homework assignments, here's that assignment #2 Intermolecular Forces. Okay. And so what I've done is broken out instead of giving you one huge assignment for the week that would cover, probably 60 to 75 problems. What I'm doing is trying to break things up into little bite-sized chunks for you. So that way you're watching a video that hopefully, is relatively short, maybe 15 minutes, but that you'd have just a little assignment over that chunk. So that way it's not as taxing as you're watching an entire lecture video and then you've got this huge problem set. So the homework assignments are meant to be a little bit more pointed than previously. Okay. So for this course, for day 1, I'm asking you to go in and watch a video on Lectures in Solids #1 and then complete that problem set. Go and do the next problem, watch the next video, complete your lecture notes, and then go in and do the next problem set. All right, so here's how this works. I got to keep you guys on track to get through the course by the end of week 6. And so what I'm going to do is make these videos for you, and I'll post these on Blackboard. But what I'm going to do is if I post this on a Monday, what that means is that you're going to have 2 days to complete that homework assignment. So everything that's due on Monday is going to be due the next Wednesday. So you're going to have 2 days to get this done. So in this case, you're looking at stuff that you're doing for Monday, July 6th. This is going to be due on Wednesday, July 8th. Okay. So not only do you have those short problem sets, but on top of that, what I'm also going to do is make sure that you have some sort of writing assignment. So with the Achieve homework sets, what I'm trying to do is get you feedback right away based on how you're doing the problem. Are you on the right track? Do you know what you're doing? Do you need help? Stuff like that. Okay. But what I'm also doing is that I'm also going to have you guys complete these writing assignments, which are going to explore certain topics. So sometimes the writing assignment, you're going to have for day 1, you have this writing assignment on the Clashes-Clapeyron equation. So you're going to explore this. Sometimes the writing assignment could be, let's try some problems out. That's going to be a little bit more tougher, but, stuff that's based on the lecture. Sometimes the problem set could be, let's check out an interactive in the textbook. Let's explore something. So I try to switch it up a little bit based on the topic and what we want to take a look at. Okay. So usually the pattern here is that you're going to watch a video, you're going to fill out your lecture notes, and then once you do that, you're going to go back into Achieve and complete that problem set for that video. Okay. Once you do those, then the last thing you do for each day is to make sure that there is, you do all the writing assignments that's required of you. Now, usually what I do is make sure that you have one writing assignment and then you're good to go. So since we're talking about grades, let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. Your syllabus is going to have a lot more detail on how we're going to calculate your grades, what's expected of you. But here's what it's coming down to. You're going to have 2 hourly exams per the semester. And each of those exams is going to be worth 15% of your final grade. We're going to add those two together, and that's worth 30% of your final grade. Okay. What I've done is breaking up the course into thirds. So you're going to have an exam over the first third, you're going to have a second exam over the second third, and then you're going to have a final exam. Your final exam is going to be worth 20% of your final grade. That final exam is cumulative through the entire course, but there's going to be a heavier accountability for the last third of the course as well. So while that final exam is going to be cumulative, it's going to have a focus on that last third. All right. You're going to have homework through the Achieve system. That homework is going to be worth 15% of your final grade. Okay. The way I treat the homework is that this is low stakes. So each question is worth 1 point. Sorry for the background noise. Someone's cutting the grass next door. But each question in Achieve is going to be worth 1 point. You have unlimited attempts. You have unlimited time. The only drawback is that I've got to have some teeth in the assignment so that way you're on task. So you're going to have 5% penalty per incorrect attempt. Okay. So 5% of 1 point, that's 0.05 of a point. So if you get something incorrect, it's not going to be a huge detrimental attack on your grade. Now, if you blow off homework assignments, yes, that's going to hurt. But if you're getting things wrong, not a problem. It's only 0.05 of a point each time. Not a problem. Okay. Like I said, this is in the summer. This is where I know you're dealing with the material, and I want to make sure that you get credit for studying. So that's why the homework is going to be worth 15% of your final grade. For 10% of your final grade, you're also going to have these writing assignments. Like I said, these writing assignments are going to be documents that you're going to download from Blackboard. You're going to print out, complete, and then upload back into Blackboard. So 10%, these writing assignments, you can expect probably one every session. It's going to explore a certain topic, or you may be doing a problem set. So yeah, I'm not going to go crazy with them, but I want to make sure that we're hitting what we need to do in order to go on to the next level in chemistry. So the other 25% of your final grade. So again, you have 30% for exams, 20% for your final exam. So that's 50%. 15% for Achieve homework. 10% for your writing assignments. So there's still a 25% missing. That last 25% is labs, and that's a completely separate course, which you're going to have a similar situation with me in a little bit. So you've got the lab course as well. Okay. Finally, the one thing I got to really stress with you guys. Look, I don't know if there's problems until you tell me that there's a problem. Okay. I'm assuming that everything that you're doing, that everything's going well until there's a problem, until you tell me that there's a problem. So please let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. Okay. I don't have normal office hours during the summer, but that being said, if you do want to meet with me for office hours, or you want to, you definitely want to work out some stuff, let me know. We can set that up. So if if a group of you guys want to get together and meet with me online, that's totally okay. Let me know, and we'll try to work something out. Okay. So, if that comes up, just let me know. Please send me emails. So I usually open my Owens email around 9 o'clock every morning, and I keep it open for the entire day until I leave work because I'm at home. So usually that's around like 4:30 or so. I close it up for the day. Now, that being said, so if you email me during the day, you're going to get a very quick response from me. If you email me in the evening, I probably won't see it till the next morning, but be rest assured that I will see it. If you do email me on the weekend, I will try to log in to Blackboard and my Owens email at least once a day on the weekends. But, keep in mind, on the weekends, I probably will be a little bit slower. So keep that in mind. But like I said, I'll respond to you as fast as I can. I also provided my office number, so if you feel like you really got to talk to me, something's wrong, you can always call me. Again, that's my work number. So after a certain time, usually 5 o'clock, I don't answer my work number. But if email's the best, but if you got to get a hold of me, you got that too. But seriously, please, if there's anything that I can do to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, because I want to make sure that you are successful in this course. Okay. All right. Well, that being said, it's time for you guys to jump in and take a look at this course. And I wish you all the very, very, very best this summer.